So hello, internet. We're only lovers.
Save the rainforest, internet.
Yeah, internet. It's been a day, week, month,
Or even a year.
year. Uh, we're only lovers left in the library, romance book club, and the setup's a little different because I had to find a different program for us to record our hangout. But whatever, change is good, right? Change
We're
is
here.
good. We're here. We're queer. We're reading, gardening, sadomasoch, whatever. I don't even know. So we have been this year. We have been taking turns picking the book, and this month it was Tashai's turn to pick the book, and she chose what did you choose? The Duke I Tempted by Scarlett Peckham. So before we start getting into it, because Tashai has questions for us, why did you decide to pick this book?
Um, Honestly, I found it on Goodreads. I was like looking for period romance, and like one click led me to like a little message board about good period pieces to read, and then I went through Goodreads and was reading, and then I landed on this one, and it was like 1800s BDSM. Into it. And I was so into it that I started reading it on the 8th, technically, maybe the end of the 8th, and I finished on the 12th. I was also very slow at work, so I read it at work a lot. Haha, just kidding, I work all the time if my bosses are watching.
I'm always working. I'm never. What I have done recently is that I just read. I have Electric Literature, the newsletter, and then every Thursday they send you like recommended reading, and they send you a short story. So I go through my email and I start like reading the short stories that I've been sent. Whenever there's nothing going on sometimes.
When I don't have anything to do, I open up the Kindle Cloud Reader
Yeah.
on my desktop, and I have my library book in there. That's how I read this one, because I got it from the library, and then whatever stuff like I've bought that I've been meaning to read. I have like multiple reads happening at any one time. But yeah, so then I was like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting, and I read some of the reviews, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this one.
Cool.
There were so many angry reviews of that book.
Oh yeah. We should talk about it. We should talk about it because I was like, huh? This book is like people either loved it or freaking hated it.
People like I feel like everyone who left bad reviews, it's like not just for this book but for the whole series. Like I think maybe the demographic that tends to read period romances, there's like a little Venn diagram, right? And like a big part of that demographic is also the anti-strip clubs, anti-like sex workers.
Yeah.
And so like they're like, what? How dare you put
Anti-kinky? Oh my god.
Not even anti-kinky, but it's like people who read romance, people who are like super against prostitution and the idea of like sex work or paid sex service or whatever, and then in the middle it's like people who left reviews in like
You're right. Oh shit.
because there's a sequel, so I was like, oh, let me like check out what the sequel's about, and the first review is 1 star, and it's someone who
Yeah, they fucking roasted the book. I read it. I looked at it. I was like,
yeah.
I read the review too.
Yeah, where it's like, I would never have read this, and how dare the twist be that he was a gigolo prostitute and liked it and was not ashamed of having to be a sex worker. I'm like, because it's a career that he like enjoyed and was like responsible during it and like wanted to do it. And that's the same thing with this. It's like, how dare they not be ashamed of it? I'm like,
I thought, okay, we'll I guess we'll get to it. But it was a good book. It was a good read. I enjoyed it. There were things about the story that I felt could have been a little better, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I read it very fast. I was like,
I mean, I thought it was a good story. Just at some point, there was a lot of story. And I'm like, you don't need all the razzle. You can have some razzle and some dazzle. You don't need, like, every twist.
I was pleasantly surprised because when I first read the blurb on the back of the book, it made it sound like these people were gonna get like into this arranged marriage while still being like total strangers kind of thing. Or maybe that's how I just read it, but that's the kind of book I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like that. And so I was really pleasantly surprised to find that it was more like that other book we read where the girl ran that like underground newspaper. And he was like royalty and she was supposed to be like super plain. The one where she dressed as a boy and played chess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of that book in that, like,
Duchess
the
Wars.
The characters already had, like, kind of a relationship, and you already knew that they were super into each other, but, like, trying to deny it, and then they went into that arranged marriage. So it was like that kind of book, and I enjoy that kind of book a lot more, because it's like, they already have this undeniable chemistry, and then plot twist, they're forced to be together and have amazing sex.
Or, just be stupid and not talk to each other about their really feeling.
Can I read the book description?
Yes, please. I will continue to... So, wait, hold on. So, let's talk about our setups really quick. Because this plant is here for a reason. My aloe vera, who has seen better days, is here because this book is about a gardener, right? So I thought I would put her on display. I'm also having a botanist. You're right. I didn't mean to diminish. I didn't mean it to diminish her career.
Doesn't have a name, but I'm calling him Prick.
And I'm also having fresh veggies as my snack.
I have carrots.
So do I, and broccoli and tomatoes and cauliflower.
I have tomato soup. Also, my garden gloves that I'm not wearing because I'm eating a ton of bread with my tomato soup.
I feel like we should have just had, like, Bloody Marys.
I brought my plants over. This is the Wandering Jew. That's what it's called. I don't know, like, it's what it's called.
Word. We're gonna get immediate demonetization. We don't make any money.
We don't make any money on this.
Also, I'm in my bathroom because it has the best light in my bedroom. So.
Yes, I appreciate the lighting.
Indeed. Okay. Without further ado, Did you get tempted by Scarlett Peckham? He's controlled, meticulous, immaculate. No one would expect the proper Duke of Westmead to be a member of London's most illicit secret club. Least of all, his future wife. So that's the book. That's the book description. I gave it 4 stars.
Oh, yeah?
I have not rated it yet, but I will rate it as 4 stars. I gave it 4.5 stars in my head, but I'm going to mark it as 4.
Nice. I gave it 3 stars. I liked it, but it wasn't like a super favorite romance for me. Like, it didn't hit all of the spots for me.
You mean it didn't have enough smut?
Yes, not enough spanking. Come on! I was like, I was reading it and I'm like, this is really just gonna happen in the last 5 fucking pages of the book. Are you kidding me? I've been waiting the entire book. And then they always like do a fade to black whenever he went to the spanky house. But I got like 4 scenes of marital sex, which was hot. I was into it. But I really wanted more spanking.
I mean, the whole thing is he's, like, trying to keep it a secret from everybody, so it's, like, his secret outlet. And he was building a relationship with Poppy throughout the book, so, like, I think when things were going well, he, like, didn't need to do it. Which was another point of contention in the reviews.
Yes. There was just a lot of stuff I didn't care about, like their arguments and their drama, and men being mean to not men, authors being
One
mean.
asshole.
I mean, authors being mean to wives to past relationships, to create like that drama, that tension.
Like the fire.
Yeah, them fucking dying in a fire. I'm like, wow, that's really fucking extra. Like, it's a lot. Why can't he just be a guy who likes to get spanked? Why does it have to be like he went through this trauma and then now he likes to get. I mean, no, that's not true. Because he did, like, did he like getting spanked by her?
No.
No, because.
It only happens as a release.
No,
he
he needed it from a pain perspective, like after they died,
Mm-hmm.
or like that's where I guess he needed to feel physical pain to match his internal pain, and where he found it was in this, spanking.
Gotcha.
But then it turned into like a sex thing.
Yeah. It was like, I need to feel something, and then it was like, oh, my dick's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. That didn't sit super great with me. I don't know why. Like, I didn't love how it was like that. I wish that he had just kind of like enjoyed it, because that's something that he enjoyed, rather than, I mean, I get it that then there would be no, I mean, I guess the plot would be him keeping it from her, and
I understand.
I kind of like let that slide, because I feel like it's like a dramatic way of doing it, but I feel that like even today there's a lot of people who
his family's dying of fire, so they turn to sadomasochism.
No, I'm just saying, like, for example, like, a lot of guys probably wouldn't admit or wouldn't even say that they wanted to try any sort of, like,
Butt stuff.
like toys in their butt or something like that. No, that's exactly what I was going to say. But then say if, like, a girlfriend was like, "Ooh, I really, really, really want to do this to you," and they push enough, then they might be like, "Okay, fine, like, just for you, blah, blah, blah," and then discover that, like, they really, really, really enjoy it and get into it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes, even in modern times with everything that's available to us, people find kinks and stuff in really accidental ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't totally crazy to me that, especially in this time period where this is supposed to happen, he came across it in such, like, a weird kind of twisty way. Like, it's super extra dramatic, but I do believe that it never crossed his mind to get spanked until he actually got spanked and was like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't love that. I just hated the fact that it was so extra, but it also fits in well with, like, everything that happens between them is so extra.
No, and honestly, this book is really weird, because I feel like for some things they're like, time period, and then for other things it's like, fuck me with your cock, and I'm like, whoa, they talk like that. Right? Like, did anybody else, like, notice that?
Yeah. I love the use of the word quim in the book there. Did you notice that? I was like, quim? Well.
It was all over the place.
Master Loki. That's what I thought. It made me laugh too. I was like into it, and then I was like, what'd you say?
I understand where you're coming from with that, Chris, though, because then it kind of then implies that you have to have experienced some sort of trauma in order to be able to find sexual gratification from a specific kink. But, like, just because you like to get spanked doesn't mean that you've been through, like, trauma or that you're broken. It's just some people just like to get spanked. But I think for the point of the story, like Andrea said, for this time period, and in order to, like, set it up so that he wasn't the bad guy for abandoning his family, but he has a reason to have been single for so long, has a reason to not be married and not be tied down, but there's, like, a dark secret that would keep him from immediately marrying Poppy, even though he, like, super likes her right from the beginning. It's like, what can we do that, like, isn't alcoholism, because then that's, like, a big problem. It's not that he's a murderer, because that makes him a bad guy and you can't fix it, but is, like, bad enough that could ruin his reputation completely.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I just want everyone to really enjoy their kinks and like super embrace them, and I guess,
Yeah, but Poppy doesn't have like anything. She just sees it and she's like,
ooh, yeah.
And then, oh my God.
God, just the whole book could have been her learning how to do this. I would have really enjoyed that, but I guess
For that too.
yeah.
Her,
And
her
here's the thing:
accent.
at the end, like right when I get to the end of the book, it's like, man, it like really like it served it so hard for me. I was like, yes, yes, everything I waited for. Like could have, I really would, I guess, have enjoyed her progression, like them healing together by her like just spanking the shit out of his butt and nipples and stuff, you know, and like helping him heal that way. But like overcoming her shame, like, oh my god, I can't believe that I really like this, but also like, Paquiti, you know, fuerte pa tu culo.
Happy to be there.
Fuerte pa tu culo. I sent it to you guys because I thought it would be funny, like from the reggaeton point, but also because of this book. But Drea didn't, haha, only Tashai did. Drea probably went. When she saw it.
I didn't even realize that you were sending it because of this book. I'm just so used to you just sending me random like shitty songs that I don't like.
Oh, damn.
First, you insulted my thermostat, and now you insulting my memes.
Okay, but like, is it not true that sometimes you will be talking and then you'll be like, fuego, fuego.
Fire, fire. Yes.
Yeah, you will.
It's what makes me great. Okay, you just don't get it, but it's fine. I still love you.
Okay, Andrea, what did you think of it?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I am obsessed with plants, so I immediately liked Poppy from the start. I was like, yes, I've ordered plants in the mail that I can't get here. I totally like, like in another life, I would have been the plant lady in a cabin somewhere. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed her as a character. Like I liked her. I liked their romance. I thought that like they had like a good vibe between them, and their scenes, like I really did think they were very sexy. And like sometimes that's like such a hit or miss thing for me. Like I feel like a lot of the books that we read, like I'll like skip through some of the sex scenes or whatever if I don't feel like I'm like super into them.
What?
Whole book.
Skipping?
Depending on who picked it. I was just saying that sometimes with other books that have been chosen by other members, I have skimmed through some of them.
Oh, Chris was saying that we're never gonna let her live that down.
No, plants.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. That before we got on recording the call, before we started doing this, Tasha and I were talking about, why she picked the book, and then she was like nervous because she wasn't sure if we were gonna like it, and I was like, look, nothing that anyone will pick for the rest of the history of book club is gonna top Captive Desire and the vitriolic response that I will have to deal with for probably the rest of my life. So
honestly, if I am perfectly honest, the first year that we did book club, we read a book where a woman has sex with a T-Rex, and I thought it would never get worse than that. But your Planet of Sex book was where I would.
It's not my planet. It's not my book.
I would rather read about the woman having sex with a T-Rex than I would read about that book.
Okay. We gotta do this every hangout.
Yes. Anyway, this book, I really enjoyed the scenes. I thought that the chemistry was really good. Like, I could feel that they were into each other, and I always really appreciate that. So, yeah, especially like the early scenes where it would be like, looking at each other, and she's like, "Oh, I want him to kiss me," and he's like, "Oh, I want to kiss her," and like I could feel that. I could feel
I
that.
felt
So
that. I
was
felt
really,
that. I felt that.
yeah, I was really shipping them. And then it started getting, really dramatic,
Oh my god.
and like I hated all the drama, but also I was still like, oh, I hope it has a happy ending. Like I just want them to be together and to have happy sex like all day long. That's just all I want. And I got it. It's a happy ending sort of book. So if you want a happy ending romance that's like only slightly kinky and has good sex and lots of plants, you should read this book.
Yeah, it is a happy ending, and like it opens the door at the end for like more kinky sex to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's within the like somehow super intense monogamous restrictions that it seems people felt.
Also, I genuinely liked his sister. Like,
Yeah, she was cool.
I loved how, like, from the beginning, she's like, this plant lady, that's who you need to go for. I'm gonna make it happen. So, I kind of want to read the sequel. Because, like, I kind of want to read her book where she's, like, hooking up with a male prostitute. Like,
Who is described in this book as being super prudish and very proper. So when I read it was that guy, I was like, oh, cool. And then I went to the comments, and it's like,
yeah, no, I would be interested in reading the sequel. I would read the sequel.
Me too. I would be more interested if it was like...
Oh my god. Stop.
What? You stop. You stop.
the sequel is The Duchess I Mastered.
Yeah.
Yes. We all knew that's what she was going to say.
It was good. I like the titles of this series. Did you guys read them? There's the Duke I tempted, the Earl I ruined, and something else. It's like, hell yeah.
Ruin him.
Destroy him. Okay, Tash, did you have discussion questions for us?
I do.
Did we trample over them already in our initial, like, talk?
No, I think it's fine. Hold on, let's see. Okay, there's no like order to these questions. I just typed them out. So, what were your first impressions of the main characters?
You can go first, Dre, because I'm about to eat.
Sure. Well, I already kind of gave my first impression of Poppy. I was like super into her from the start. As for the Duke,
Archer.
Yeah, Archer. I honestly liked him from the start too, just because I feel, and maybe this is more like the author's doing, I guess, but I feel like in this kind of book, because we've read now several books, I feel, where the main male character has to get married for whatever reason, and then usually they like fall in love with this like protagonist who's not one of the ideal candidates, and I feel like they always, in the beginning anyways, like act like they're not into them, or like, oh, this person's very mousy or not pretty or not rich. But I felt like Archer from the beginning was like, this lady's cool. She's a businesswoman. She's smart, and she's like kind of pretty too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like from their very first meeting, his inner thoughts are like, yeah, I dig her. Maybe not like thinking like consciously like, oh, I want to have sex with her or I want to be with her, but like just his first response was like, she's a cool lady. So I really appreciated that about him, and that made me like him right away, even though later on he does kind of like stupid things. But that first initial reaction, I liked him.
Mm-hmm. Stop chewing.
I don't know. I didn't think much about either of them because at the beginning, I didn't know what kind of book this was going to be. You know what I mean? I had my hopes and I had my expectations, but I thought it was going to be very like pretty run-of-the-mill characters, and I don't feel like I was disappointed in that sense. Like, I feel like she's like a spunky, cool lady, and he's like a serious but like funny, just gentleman, and they like have great chemistry. And I I did think that they had great chemistry from the start, like Drea said. But I didn't. I don't know. They kind of met my expectations in the same way. Where like these are just the standard romance characters, and also him being tortured by his past, and her not wanting to be married because she wanted to be a businesswoman. I was like, okay, we're not breaking the romance wheel right now.
Ya mismo llegan peste y war.
So I was just like, well, I mean, so I did like them both, but I was just kind of waiting for, okay, who's going to spank who first? That's what I was waiting for.
Wait, you thought she was gonna be the one getting spanked?
Yeah, I thought that.
But the back of the book clearly says that he likes to be spanked.
No. What I mean, I thought that he was going to introduce his.
You thought he was gonna like Christian Grey her?
Yeah. Oh, no, not necessarily Christian Grey her, but just kind of be like.
I don't know what that means.
The 50 Shades of Grey, where he.
Yeah, I've never read the books or seen the movies.
Well, let me give you the really brief synopsis is that he introduces her to.
Not really.
Kink, but like not really.
Supposedly. He basically thinks she's really hot and wants to fuck her, but the only way he will fuck her is if she signs a contract agreeing to be his like sub. And she doesn't know what anything is, and she's not like into it. She's never into it. But he basically introduces her into like.
Wait, if she's not into it, then how is this a sexy movie?
It's not. It's the book.
Well.
The book isn't really sexy because the entire time it's not something that she is ever into, and she basically like changes his mind and makes him like, because in the book he was abused as a young child.
So
and
his response to the trauma is also to get into BDSM.
So she breaks up with him.
Yes, but then they get back together, and there's a helicopter crash. Don't worry about it. It's stupid. What I mean is that I thought he was gonna. I mean, in their marriage, I thought that the drama would be, I want you to do these things to me, and she's like, no, oh my god, I'd rather be with my plants.
Not in front of the ferns.
Yeah, but then she'd like go prune her plants and be thinking about like pruning him or something, and then not wanting to give in to. Not wanting to give in.
She finds those pictures in the book, and she's like, ooh. You know what I mean? I feel like if they had ever had an open conversation about it, he would have realized pretty fast that, like...
She was into it!
Like,
she was totally into it.
All ashamed and shit. Like, honestly, all it would have taken was her to, like, turn around suddenly while holding, like, a reed and, like, slap him with it by mistake and him to get erect for her to be like...
What was hard for me to push past was, like, the ridiculous drama in between.
Yeah.
Of just, like... I don't even understand what the fucking problem was. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even understand what the issue was. I guess he loved her right from the beginning. And then he's like, no, I can't love you. And she's like, but I want you to love me, even though it's obvious you fucking love me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. She would be okay with him being like a kink, having a kink. He didn't think she'd be okay with it. He's like, I don't want her to find out and then, like, leave me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just...
I don't know. Toxic masculinity.
I suppose. But also, him wanting to give her autonomy, but on his own terms and not on hers. I get it. But also, again, I didn't feel like... I felt like for the time, that was not... Like, that's not a problem. Like, you still won. Like, in the eyes of society, you have married... Like, you married way above your fucking pay grade. And yet that was still, like, it wasn't enough. There were, like, contracts and the stuff that's written in these contracts. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? What is this? Where be the spanking? It says what the... the books are, like, The Secrets of Scarlett Street or some shit like that. And I'm like, let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go check it out. Let's go hang out. No, we're in the living room with these two teenagers. Don't know how to talk to each other.
I mean, she's
25 and he's like 35 or something.
No, mira, the perfect example of like what their relationship was like was when they went to that house where her new like plant nursery was gonna be, and she was like, "Hey, I don't want to live here by myself. He hates me." And then he's like, "Oh, then this is where we can put our baby nursery." And she's like, "What? You want to live here with me?" And he's like, "Yeah, stupid." And then he like runs off, and then she's like,
Ah, I guess he does love me.
and I'm like, why is this even an argument? You both literally just gave each other what you wanted. Like, you are both in agreement. You both want to live together in this house.
And yet they still fought and were stupid about everything. And I'm just like, guys, get it together. Let's get to the spanking. Look, I don't know how y'all read this book and were like, oh my god. I was just like,
you got like a 3-hour movie with like a 5-minute spanking scene.
No, and I love when like
50 Shades of Grey.
I mean,
when they had their like final big fight or whatever.
When he thinks
it says that she like pieced together all the glass pieces of the bottle and just left the bottle there with the note. I never took this. Oh, that was the best. I can just
laughing because you know she did it in the way when you're like.
I'm like Elmo laughing over here. You got me hee ha-haing.
You're like, I'm not gonna cry. Like,
I never took this.
Indignación, and you're just like, oh my god. It's like,
Mira, Cristina.
You know you're right in an argument, and the person won't admit that you're right, and then you find like the text message that they sent you that confirms that you're right, and you just take a screenshot, and you're like,
yeah. What?
Eso.
Nah, que Tasha, you could have sent us a referral code for this app, and you didn't. But I'm sending Chris my referral code so that we both get $10 off.
Drea!
Hell, did it not include a code?
No, it didn't.
Internet, brief break. We're planning a trip to Thailand, and we're using Capital to save for it jointly.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrea, can you not type in a code? Does it not allow you to type in a code?
I can check later.
Oh, ma. Usa esto.
So many referral codes. Wow.
Neta. Alright. So that was that. Okay. What literary character does Archer remind you of?
Oh.
Because I was reading this, and I was like...
Rochester?
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking? Because that's what I was thinking. Because I'm like, this guy has someone in the attic.
I knew, yeah.
Well, it turns out someone died in the attic. So, like...
Did he kill his wife and that baby's his baby?
Yeah.
Is this what happened? Did his wife go crazy?
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're in a... Drea, did you think of Rochester when you were reading this?
No.
Oh. No similarities whatsoever?
Nope.
He's all brutish and gruff.
Rochester would never fall down these like petty emotional fight scenes that he with emotions in a well. Él lo que hacía
in the attic. Like, Lock and key.
No, I just mean like he would have never gone this deep. Like he would have just like abandoned ship a long time ago.
Rochester just goes to the wells for sense of Alright, cool. I just wanted to keep my suspicion. Okay. What do you think of Poppy's backstory?
I thought it was really weird. Like I never really
I didn't give a shit.
I didn't really understand what happened to like her parents or her mom. Like I know there were all these scenes where she was like imagining the coffin or like, but I never really like quite understood. I don't know. Maybe I like glazed through it. Um,
You skimmed a lot of this book. Oh no, never mind. You skimmed a lot of the first one. Never mind. That's what the comment was.
yeah, no, I didn't skim this book. I skimmed your book.
Gotcha.
I can barely remember her backstory either. I know her mom was like probably sick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it was like on purpose. Like her memories were like weird, so we never got a clear picture. But
It was irrelevant to whatever was happening, to be honest. And the only reason she has that nightmare about her nanny is to set up the conflict, the dumbass fucking fight that's gonna come up later, where she's like, but you were raping my nanny," and he's like, "We were fucking. It was totally consensual." And she's like, "Okay, I guess I saw it wrong. Oh my gosh!" And then
I guess as a child, I just didn't understand what sex was. She was making all these sounds.
yeah.
In retrospect, I realize now.
Have you ever read Atonement? Yes, basically. Something like that. Yes, it didn't really, I felt it wasn't relevant at all. So I did not care. I was like, whatever. She was like, "I've been through things too." I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay, I wrote, what about the random dick who tries to manipulate Poppy? Was it annoying that she kept just not telling him to fuck off?
he sucked.
Why did she keep giving him so many breaks?
I don't know.
No sé. She's like, he's such a good friend to me. He's always trying to trick me into marrying him, and he's always calling me a slut for that time he kissed me in the woods. But he's a good friend who's also an alcoholic and an abuser. And again, keeps trying to blackmail me for the time he kissed me in the woods.
But he's a good friend and a good person. He did nothing but like torment her the entire book. I'm like, who was this nice person? Like, I would have been interesting to see him like be like the nice guy, and then like morph into the bad guy. But he was a bad guy right from the start, so it was hard for me to even believe that he was a good guy to begin with.
Here's how you morph him into a bad guy. You have him be a good guy. You have her actually like learning to do the kinky shit, but having been like a prude to him her whole life. And then you have him catch her and Archer being kinky together, and then he confronts her afterwards and is like, "You were such a prude this entire time, and look at you now, wearing a horse tail in your ass. What the fuck, Bob?"
Wearing a horse tail in your ass.
You wouldn't hold my hand. You said that you would never see a man like that. What the hell was that about? And then he nice guys her, and he's like,
Yeah,
"I did all your homework for you."
Yeah. I felt like the middle of the book, I was just like, "Oh, here we go with this shit again." Here we go with this fucking fight again, or here we go with this asshole again.
They used him a lot. Like, if you think about it, like,
he's foiled.
Archer intervenes in like every single one of those encounters except for like the very, very first one. But after that, they always use him as a like, oh, here he is bothering him, and then here swoops in Archer either to like show a contrast of like not all men, or to like show Archer himself like, oh wait, I like this girl and I'm really mad that this guy is being a douche to her. Like, but like siempre, like he was there for every single encounter. So I thought like he was just used for that a lot. Like, what's an easy way to like make Archer show he cares? Or
but here's the thing, like, it's fine if he's just gonna be a flat character and used once, twice. They have like 4 or 5 different scenes together, and they all escalate too, this in the same way. So I was just like irritated every time he came by. It was never like a surprise. It was just like, oh, here we go with this fucking shit again. He's gonna be a fucking dick to her. She's not gonna put him in his place. This guy's gonna punch him. Oh look, here he punched him.
Yeah.
So I did not I didn't like it. Like, it wasn't, like, really smartly done, I guess. It's very transparent that it's just there to cause conflict yet again.
I agree.
Just so you know, we passed the 10-minute mark. We've made
it's
it, we've made it to
working.
the other side.
Okay. Do you think I felt like I could have done without the like, oh, now I'm pregnant, yay. Like, come on, let's get them doing some like kinky shit first. We get there. That the
They,
could have been
I
epilogue. Could
they
have been
had
epilogue.
to they had to have that in there because it was like the final proof that she never took the pregnancy prevention herbs or whatever.
For birth
You know
control?
what I mean? It's like just to like triple confirm that. So I thought it was that, and then also just to prove that like that's how prideful and independent she is. That like she wasn't gonna tell him. Like she was just gonna have this baby over here by herself and like, damn him, I don't need him for anything. So like that's how I saw it. Was like it was just like to like save her name like once and for all, like 100%, even if you didn't believe her, she never took it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to prove her independence.
He bumps into her like 5 years later, and she's got her vegan baby.
Baby's like running around naked in like fields of flowers.
Come, Petunia. Let's go, Oleander.
What was the baby's name?
It was that one flower from like that he knocked over the first time they met.
It's a fucking ugly baby name.
It's uglier than Renesmee?
They're like Plumeria or something.
Oh
like
yeah, Plumeria. I remember that's the song. That's what I sang when I read the name.
Yeah. Plumeria.
Oh honey.
She's never gonna get offered someone's hand in marriage.
But then, yeah, whatever. She's not a real person. Who cares?
Alright, oh, I put there were a lot of surprises in the book. Which do you think was the biggest, like, actual surprise and the biggest, like, stereotypical twist? I wrote, his previous marriage, his dad being, like, some weird abusive person, the death of Archer, the way they died, the fetish itself, like, there were, like, a couple of reveals, a couple of, like, oh my god! Did anything catch you off guard?
I think my favorite like twist or whatever. I just liked when she went to the club at the end and was like,
Teach me your ways.
Yeah. I like that. That was my favorite thing because like I think it showed that this wasn't just like a one-off thing that she did for him, but that it was something that she was genuinely interested in like learning more about, and I thought that was really cool.
That is really cool. I agree, which is why it was like my favorite part too, because it could have easily been something that very 50 Shades, I guess. Like, I'm only doing this because you're into it. I'm only doing this because you're you know, I want to keep this relationship going. But you know, it was genuinely something that when she, you know, she might not have understood it or like been, you know, she might not have understood it at first, but once she was doing it for herself. You know?
But another thing that surprised me, like, pleasantly, was that, unlike all the people reviewing this book, she didn't immediately, at no point was she like, oh my god, you have cheated on me and our marriage and, like, destroyed everything by, like, going to this club or whatever. Like that was never her reaction. Like, she was more so like, you never told me! You know, like you should have shared your secret. Like,
why didn't you tell me? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I was pleasantly surprised that was her reaction. Like never once. Like, she never brought it up afterwards or anything either. Like, she was never like, you have cheated on me by going to this club or anything. Like, she was just like, you should have told me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we could have done this together, you idiot.
Yeah, and I guess I'll save my comment for a little bit.
I'm done. Those are my
Oh, okay. I mean, what I guess I want to say is I wish that there had been more of the House of Sin too.
Mhm.
I wish that we had more characters aside from the madam, I guess you could say. Like, I wanted to be in there. I want to be in there. I want to like know what's going on in that world. But I guess fucking
I
Poppy
can
is
try to
fine.
find a book that takes place in like a brothel.
No. What I mean is, like, I guess I
So
would
you're
just
gonna read more about it in the other books. Like every single one of these books
goes more
takes
in.
place
Yeah.
in that place. Like
Which seems to really upset people. I'm like, don't you know what you're reading? It didn't take me more than like 2 sentences to be like, oh, cool, BDSM. All right, let's see.
yeah.
Be patient.
Yeah.
I want to walk my dog, y'all. Sorry.
My last question was, what do you think is next for the couple? Think they're just gonna be doing kinky shit?
I don't know. Maybe she's gonna have a baby now. I don't know how that's gonna affect.
Yeah, I think they're gonna I think they're gonna have mostly non kinky sex, I guess. But like I can see them like routinely like having little date nights
Once a
where, like,
month?
that's what they do. Yeah,
Only Lovers Whipping Club.
yeah. Like I don't think it's gonna be like their go-to daily thing, but I think they'll keep doing it.
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I think they're gonna have a baby, and then every now and then, his sister's gonna come and babysit, or
Yeah.
take the baby for the weekend, and they're gonna be like,
Put the ball gag in his mouth.
handle.
She's just gonna tickle him. Till he.
Okay, although I just got like a really cool mental image of her like with like a huge like 8-month like pregnant belly, just like whipping him.
Right? Yeah. I think after she has the baby, it'll change, but like before then, like, you know, she'll be in her hormones and in her feelings, and then, you know, she'll like let him have it.
I wonder if they sell like, you know how they sell all those like little bondage outfits and stuff? Like, I wonder if they make stuff like specifically with like pregnant bellies in mind. Like, I wonder if that's a thing.
Oh yeah.
Let's find out.
Chris is
So many pregnancy fetishes out there. There's a kink for every nook and cranny. Like, yeah.
Oh
Definitely.
boy.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
100%.
I cannot show this to you.
There's like
okay.
Because
Send
it's
it
like,
to the chat.
because I don't have safe search on. That's
really?
why.
Send it to the chat.
What I googled was pregnant BDSM, but I'm gonna put like BDSM outfits.
you set yourself up for that one first.
Hey, okay. Cute. Okay. The internet, you know.
Okay, Bar, you're not gonna share any of them with us, and then.
Well, yeah. Well, like here's an example, just like I think
Ah, that's so cute. She wouldn't wear that. She needs something.
she's got a whip tattoo.
Oh, I love that.
The whip tattoo is cool.
That's cool.
That. See, she would wear that, but it's got little holders for all her gardening tools. So she's just in the backyard naked, wearing her harness and gardening, covered in dirt, and he's like, yeah.
I could actually see that though.
All right.
So I guess all in all, we had a fun time with this book.
Yeah.
It was a quick and easy read. I'm glad that you guys were okay with it.
Yeah, it was
Like, I don't know
cool.
what this is gonna be like, but let's see.
Yeah. Let's
I was reading at my desk, and people would come ask me questions, and I'm like, swipe. Yes.
minimize.
Yeah, I'll like do blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. Swipe.
Come
Continues
here,
to read.
Barbie.
Pappy!
Come here, Barbie.
Oh my god, she's so fucking cute.
Oh no, she's like,
Aww.
eat my vegetables.
I love her.
Do you want me to read the blurb for our next book?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna tell you to read. What book are we reading next?
So, internet, if you remember, we read a wonderful book called Pestilence a while ago. I guess it was last year.
Yeah.
Where it was about the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and that one focused on pestilence and his romance. Where what was it? He spoke to her in like heavenly language or something. And
Yeah. The first time they had sex, he spoke like God's language, and like a hush fell on the living room. I remember that being my favorite part.
Okay,
I don't speak Spanish.
So this book is the last one was Pestilence. This one is War. I don't know if you can see like the picture of this dude, but
Abs, baby.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Hades from Xena.
Yeah.
Warrior Princess.
You're right.
And so it says, the day Jerusalem falls, Miriam El-Mahdi knows her life is over. Houses are burning, the streets run red with blood, and a traitorous army is massacring every last resident. There is no surviving this, especially not once Miriam catches the eye of War himself.
Oh.
But when the massive and terrifying horseman corners Miriam, he calls her his wife. And instead of killing her, he takes her back to his camp. Now Miriam faces a terrifying future, one where she watches her world burn, town by town, and the one man responsible for it all is her seemingly indestructible husband. But there's another side to him, one that's gentle and loving and dead set on winning her over, and she might not be strong enough to resist. However, if there's one thing Miriam has learned, it's that love and war cannot coexist. And so she must make the ultimate choice, surrender to war and watch humankind fall, or sacrifice everything and stop him.
Oh my. That sounds just like the first book.
Yeah, basically.
Going town to town.
They're literally all the apocalypse.
We're taking a road trip, destroying everything you love. I'm gonna have sex with you and change your mind. I'm okay.
You should be a brunette this time.
Yes. I hope.
Guys.
Okay, but to be fair, like, if like the world keeps going the way it's going, I don't know that would be such a hard.
Yo, which horseman do I need to fuck to get the rainforest to stop burning? For real. I'll do it. Okay, fine. I'll do it.
Andrea will fuck Bete, and she'll get all the plastics out of the ocean. Christina, you can fuck War. You'll get the wildlife to stop burning. And then I'll fuck Death, I guess. And then he'll kill all of the trashy government officials and 1%ers who are, like, urging the destruction of our planet. I'll do it.
It has a lot of views.
Puppy, come here.
Butt stuff for the planet. Let's do it.
Okay, fine. It is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. If that'll save us.
Lo hago. Bring me the world's richest men.
I'm excited to read it and compare it to Pete.
I was like scrolling through the reviews for something that I could share that would be like share worthy. This review says, War Daddy can pillage me anytime.
Ay, Dios mío.
War Daddy can pillage me anywhere.
I know! The next review says, guys, save your money. This was so incredibly racist and Islamophobic. I don't even know what to
say. Girl.
Apparently it's because there's they talk about the Palestine-Israel conflict.
Oh boy.
And this person doesn't think that a book mostly about sex is the best platform for that.
Okay, well,
if you can't talk about conflicts
in your romance novels, then
when can you talk about it?
Can you?
Honestly, if people talked about more of these relevant topics while they were getting railed, maybe a lot more things would be getting solved.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe we'll read it and it will be really racist, and then that will be like the last apocalypse book we read.
No, there can be romance in the apocalypse.
Completely unrelated. They're coming out with the Lizzie McGuire again.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Saka told me about that. He wants to watch it.
She's gonna be in her
Shaka wants to watch it?
He used to watch
The
it
more
when he
I
was
find out about, the more I find out about Chaka.
He's a pretty cool guy.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, vamos a ver Grey's Anatomy. Eh, Yo nos preparo un sancocho. Vamos a ver a las doctoras. Tú lloras y lloro. Yo lloro. Ya, lloramos juntos. Hice un bizcocho molten. Toma, vamos a comer.
Ow.
Besito. I just want to make him a cake. He seems very like.
You don't like cake.
He doesn't like chocolate.
It don't have to be a chocolate cake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he'll eat things if they're not chocolate.
I can make him like a lemon cake with a homemade like.
Yeah.
Meringue.
Like we discovered the other day that the grocery store near us has these vegan oatmeal cranberry cookies, and we're both obsessed with them.
Mmm.
They're so Chris, if you're ever in Wegmans, they're so good.
Wegmans? Isn't that a really, really good grocery store?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's like a step between a regular grocery store and then like a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. It's like in the middle. So I can get all the vegan goodies, but also still afford to shop there.
Well, I know the reason I know the name is because they were supposed to be opening one in Brooklyn at some point. So I'm like,
Ooh, that's a good store.
Yeah,
I buy my oat milk there.
Is it Oatly?
Yeah, but it's the chocolate one. That's the one I get. I get chocolate chip cookies and I get the chocolate oat milk, and then I just go to town.
What do you put in your coffee?
What I put in my coffee?
Yeah.
Creamer.
Cream. Just regular creamer.
Just regular creamer. I don't put milk in the coffee. It's too watery. I mean, because it's almond milk.
Yeah, but then you don't buy the almond milk creamer, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's almond milk creamer. I mean, I didn't buy the other stuff when I lived with you because I had to share it with Shaka and it was too small. So we just bought the normal stuff. But in my casa, get the fancy purple almond milk creamer.
¿Cómo que tú bebes café con creamer?
Listen, internet. This was fun. We'll see you.
I gotta settle some shit with Christina.
We'll see you next time when we decide whether war was worth a visit, if it was racist or not, how hot the next horseman's gonna be. See ya.
End of September.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.